All right. All right, there's only one option.
All right, keep the 5. Not a control. No. Get this thing off me! No!
Hey kinfolk, so New Year is coming and it's going to be the whole New Year, New Me crowd coming out, and I'm no different. Every holiday season I definitely indulge and I don't feel too bad about it, but I ballooned back up to 185 and I'd like to get down to 165. So right now I'm about 25% body fat and I feel it when I run and my knees and my back hurt, and I'm not nearly as fast, I'm not as crisp, I'm definitely rusty, which is why heading out to your local combat LARP, little boffer LARP, helps you hone a lot of those skills and helps you get to that point where you can really get a lot sharper at your main game. So we're here at Dagorhir, a realm called Thaundor. And Thaundor is a great little chapter here in Fayetteville, and they're just a great group of people, a great community. And head out to your local boffer group like Dagorhir, Bellegarth, Ramsgard, and get in touch with them. And you're going to be surprised at what you're gonna encounter. Now, it's going to be a different culture than what you're normally used to, but you're not going to grow unless you travel and do more to expand your horizons. So whether it's reenactment, ACL, SCA, if you're doing a lightest touch, this will definitely help you if you cross game. You can't get too far in your main LARP by just staying in your own isolated little pond. You have to cross game. You can't help but grow if you cross game. So there's always that one guy in your LARP or your reenactment that's really good. He's dominating the field. The reason why is because he cross games. He goes to games like this and he learns all the tips and tricks, and he does it for years, and he brings those tips into their little LARP and their own little game to figure out, it's new stimuli, it's new ways of winning and strategies and techniques that people aren't going to develop on their own. They kind of have to have this brought in from an outside source, and that's why cross gaming is such a good idea. So today we are at the realm of Thaundor. It's a chapter in Dagorhir, and Dagorhir is a very low fantasy, high combat, very low role play kind of LARP, and it's mostly just about fighting. But there is some magic, there is a healing spell, but that's rare when you see it happen and actually complete it on time. But it's mostly just combat, people just swinging stick and hitting each other. It's like I said, it's a heavier hitting game. It's sufficient force. Now, if you're into lightest touch games, this is going to be a bit of a culture shock for you. Just because you touch them doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take it. It's up to them to take it, whether or not it had enough force behind it to be considered a legitimate hit. Was it a good rule of thumb would be, did it hit hard enough for it to actually wound me? If that were a real weapon, would that have wounded me? Would that have killed me? So the other things that you need to watch out for is that javelins and arrows to the face and head count. And that's a dead. Now, the only way to combat that is if you have a helmet. And I always tell people, wear a helmet, no matter what it is, even if it's lightest touch, even if headshots aren't legal, wear a helmet. It's just smart, because these things are going to happen. A shot's going to go wild, or an arrow's going to go wild, and then somebody's going to get hit in the face or the head. And it could turn a great event into a terrible event. I had a friend of mine whose orbital socket got shattered, and he had a concussion for like a day or two because he couldn't remember anything after that. And we had to care for the guy for a couple of days to make sure that he was all right. And so wear a helmet, be smart.
Blue, dead.
Most lightest touch LARPers and most reactors and things like that, they don't do that. They don't practice on a weekly basis. Here you can, and it's safe because they're using safe foam-padded weapons, and they're swinging with somewhat lighter gear. So if you're swinging with like live steel, you can't swing that for long without getting with overuse injuries and things like that. And here you can. You can also develop a lot more conditioning. And cardio by itself is just boring. And I just don't want to just sit on a treadmill or run on a treadmill for an hour to just get more conditioning. This will build my conditioning. Running around and fighting will definitely build up my conditioning. because some of these fights can go on for like an hour, 2 hours. And you build up that conditioning to, you can fight these big battles, like in, say, Bickling, where you have these 3-hour, 8-hour fights in these campaign fights. So that's something to think about. One of the best things about going to groups like this is that you can take new kit, new items, and or items that you might not have been putting on for the last couple of years. You can try it on and see how it fits and how it might rub you raw or cut into you, where you could make adjustments. And likewise, you can adjust your body around the gear. So it's like, you know, maybe I did gain about 20, 30 pounds since I last wore this. Well, time to cut that down so this armor can fit again. Because you don't want to take that to a main event and have these things happen at a big main event like a 7-day event where you really don't have the resources or the shop or whatever to make those adjustments there. If you're out there and you're getting gassed after 5 minutes, 10 minutes of running around with this armor, then it's just not working for you. You have to fit yourself around that armor. You have to start conditioning yourself with that armor. And games like this are a perfect way to do that. So like if you have like a new technique with making a sword and a new way to build your shield, this is a great way to test it out, see if it'll work. Because again, you don't want it to go into a battle that actually counts, you know, a big battle where your team is on the line of gaining lots of resources or whatever, and your new idea doesn't work out or it doesn't pass inspection. You know, coming out here would probably be a good test for that as well. I'm a little rusty because I haven't been able to fight in a long time. This group is like almost 2 hours away from me, so I can't come out every Saturday. But that's the other thing I'd like to work on. I'd like to just hone my skills and get a little sharper, my movements a little bit more precise. And I'm pretty sure my conditioning, my fight conditioning, is going to be not quite as good as it used to be. And I'm pretty sure I can hone that up. I just have to really spend the time and the energy to drive out here to do it. And the other thing is, it is a great community to be a part of. And I like these guys. They're fun to hang out with. They're always cracking jokes. They're always just in good moods. And you get to know what's going on in their lives. It's a little dangerous out here. So yeah, I would highly encourage you to come on out and check out Thaundor Realm and Dagorhir, and check out Dagorhir itself. It's a great system, and most of the people in there are pretty good. I would check out your local chapter. There's a camera there. And so I'm going to send you home with a be humble, be helpful, and be honorable. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
Got it.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I love this mask. The one downside is it's
Right, I'm gonna have to take a break real quick. What's your name?
Wolfgar.
Wolfgar. Iron. Nice to meet you.
Iron?
Iron.
Iron.
Yes, sir.
Who's next?